Hey, so it's Amy and Mickey from Little Acre Mushrooms in Brisbane, Australia, but right now we are in Singapore.
So we're in Singapore at the moment because we are on a world mushroom trip. That's right, we are traveling to around 10 different countries all over the world, visiting mushroom farms, spawn producers and makers in design, all in the space of fungi. So at the moment we're in Singapore, but we are traveling, and this is a 9-week trip. So we're off to Japan next. We're going to be going through Japan, visiting log cultivation, traditional log cultivation, bottle cultivation, bag cultivation in maitake and shiitakes. And then after that, we're going to be heading over to Europe. And so we're going to be visiting some of the largest gourmet mushroom farms in the world, as well as the largest spawn producer in the world over there as well. So we're really excited to be able to share this through a video series. And so we're going to be going to Copenhagen, Berlin, France, Switzerland, throughout Germany as well, visiting a whole range of different farms. After that, we're heading over to the US and we're going to be visiting farms and facilities all throughout. So we're starting on the East Coast and we're going to be zigzagging our way across the States and ending up on the West Coast. So a lot of prominent growers and notable figures in the industry we're going to be visiting and sharing that all with everybody online. So we're really excited to be able to do this trip. We've got the fantastic team back at Little Acre keeping the facility going while we're on this trip. And this is all thanks to a Winston Churchill Fellowship that I received last year, which is helping fund this trip because it's pretty epic. It's jam-packed and we're hoping to share as much knowledge as possible online because we feel like this is the only way to grow this industry. It's relatively small in Australia, and so by going to some of the biggest facilities in the world and by learning from some of the experts and being able to share that online, we're helping to help grow the entire industry. So please follow us online through this video series. We're really excited to share that with you. You're so short in this video.
Do you want to talk?
No,
Why not?
because we're supposed to walk and talk.
Well, that's going to be really difficult.
Not if you hold it.
Very
This
awkward.
person's in 20 years. All right, we're in Singapore, day one, and it's a little bit rainy today, but we are on our way to see Kiet from Bewilder. He is running a mushroom farm here in Singapore, selling fresh mushrooms to restaurants, but also doing some amazing work with Ganoderma. Some of the best work that I've seen. And so we're really excited to see what he's doing here in Singapore, because I think he's one of the only people around here that's doing anything in fungi. So yeah, on our way to see his mushroom farm.
I'm really keen to see his Ganoderma sculptures. I think they're really cool. Maybe we could even take one back, I don't know. But yeah, they're pretty amazing.
Yeah, so see what he's up to.
Hi, my name is Kiet. I'm the founder of Bewilder. We are a mycological design studio based in Singapore, and we grow gourmet mushrooms, design with mycelium, making products like these, and do some R&D on the side. So this is our incubation room. We've got 3 incubation rooms.
Do you need to cool your incubation at all?
We run ACs here because in Singapore,
Same in Brisbane.
Hot as hell. So utility bills. Right, so
Totally. And what substrate are you growing on?
hardwood sawdust, and we work with different local waste materials. So for these bags, specifically we are using spent grains. So we work with Red Dot breweries, so just not far away from here.
Okay, nice.
So logistically it kind of makes sense, and they're very into sustainability, and they're helping out a lot of our common friends as well. So
Nice.
free spent grains.
Yeah.
Don't have to pay for it.
So that's like the nutrient added to the sawdust.
Yes, yeah. So we also work with Okara, the waste from the soya beans.
Ah.
So we've got soya bean factories here that they process soya bean milk,
Yes.
and that waste material just gets thrown away.
Right.
Yeah, but we're slowly taking that out from our formulations because they're starting to charge us for it. Mushrooms are great at breaking stuff down, right? So we should be working with waste,
Absolutely.
agricultural waste. So exploring things like sugarcane, spent sugarcane that are in our coffee shops, in our hawker centers.
yeah.
That's one of our first choices as well. But the problem is there is no central collection point.
Sure.
So you know, at a small scale, I've been going around with a trash bag, picking up like a Santa Claus, but with a trash bag, collecting sugarcane, and then coming back here and then dehydrating it
Yes.
to rehydrate
Wow.
it.
So there is still that process that we need to kind of refine.
Yeah.
But as much as possible, we would love to work with local waste materials because it makes total sense. And of course, at some point to grow native edible mushrooms.
You got the pink oyster.
Yeah, but I'm slowly cutting that out from the grow list because they grow so fast. They grow too fast.
We used to grow pink oyster, and now we don't grow any for restaurants.
Why?
Because it's produces a lot of spores in the grow room, you know, and its shelf life of the cut mushroom is very, very low.
Yeah.
So we've stopped doing that at the pink oyster. But for grow kits, it's the number one seller is
Number
pink
one
oyster
seller,
because people love the pink color.
Yeah.
But so that's how we incorporate it. But yeah, only very small sometimes pink oyster. But yeah, like you said, they're difficult.
Yeah, same reason. You know, this is the grow kit. That's the only reason why we have pink oysters here.
Yeah.
We don't fruit it. I used to, but so I kind of replaced that with blue oysters now, and the chefs love the blue oysters.
Yeah.
So they're just meatier, denser, longer shelf life. That's pretty important for the chefs.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it tastes good. So this is the fruiting chamber. We've got some lion's mane coming up. Two coral tooth strains, two Americanum strains from them. So chestnuts are, it's time to harvest. Yeah, so we're just making the transition from small test bags to now 3 kg bags.
Okay. Yeah.
It just makes more sense for me at a small scale to make larger bags, so it makes the harvest worthwhile.
Sure.
So I just harvested the golden oysters yesterday. Yeah, so at least now we're getting like 500 gram per harvest. That's for first flush.
Great, yeah.
Just make every bag count, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
For small scale.
Yeah, you don't want to waste any bags.
Yeah.
And do you do any second flushing?
Yes, second flush, but third flush, no, because it doesn't make sense for a small space like this in Singapore anymore. So I don't hold the bags in the chamber for more than after the second flush.
Sure.
I pass them to a good friend of mine, then he makes compost out of them. So back into the garden to make soil. I think and we got a small wormery in the back.
Yeah, oh nice.
Small
yeah,
one.
cool.
From a friend.
Yeah. And you've got humidity coming in through these pipes?
Yes, it's coming on now. So we use an ultrasonic mist maker.
Yeah.
So fresh air in. Right now I'm just taking fresh air from the room, but I vent out the space every day.
Sure.
Then
And do you have any
exhaust
exhaust with spores, or do you try and pick the mushrooms quickly?
I try to pick the mushrooms quickly because at this small scale, it's still handleable. Yeah. So I try to harvest the mushrooms at the prime. Several options once we scale to 2 chambers. Sure. So that's the plan for the space here. Yeah. Then, but farming is not really very similar to Little Acre. It's not the entire business model. It's not just to farm gourmet mushrooms. It's not just to grow medicinal mushrooms. It's part of the business. So Bewilder is really a holding company, and we do different things. So the other thing that we are known for is really the design part of mushrooms. So we work with mushrooms with more towards native species now. Get the species in, develop strains to grow on local waste materials to create designer products because we're in Singapore. Okay, but I love art, I love design. I come from that background.
Yeah, no, your stuff is incredible.
And it so far it's the thing that people recognize us for. So it's a talking point, right? So we use that as indirect marketing to really spread the message about what mushrooms are truly about, which unfortunately I cannot really exercise these kind of principles in Singapore. Sure. Right? So mushrooms are really about interconnectivity, about how everything is essentially one. That's right. So a lot of collaborative work and all that, but in Singapore, not in the agricultural scene anyway, not so much. Of course, it's changing a little bit, but it's starting to happen, right? So more youngsters are starting to realize that we need to move away from the capitalistic way of thinking and really look at more important issues that we are currently facing.
Where did your passion for mushrooms start?
Actually, in Australia, surprisingly.
Okay.
Yeah, so I used to study in Australia.
Okay.
In Perth. So one of my good friends in uni, he was growing the local lion's mane.
Yeah.
And some Ganoderma. So I got intrigued at that time. I've always been growing plants and like keeping animals. So So in Singapore, I pretty much grew up in the forest. Then he showed me the process of growing mushrooms, and he lent me the book, the Paul Stamets book. So I flipped through the book, and I was like, wow, this is crazily different from what I was used to. And I think that was the first inoculation point.
Yeah,
Then
for sure.
It was the back of my head, never really did much with it until fast forward, moved back to Singapore. Then as an artist, I did lots of different things here and there. Then almost became a photographer, freaked out, moved to Turkey. My girlfriend at the time was from there. So I moved to Istanbul and started growing some mushrooms there and fell in love, came back to Singapore, found out that some people were trying to grow mushrooms for social enterprise. So I volunteered, then finally got some success, and then so I was with Edible Garden City. So Bjorn, one of the co-founders, became a good friend of mine. Then he's been kind of supportive as well to the business and introducing me to people. And fast forward, I honestly don't know how this happened, but I'm here now.
No.
Everything is just super expensive here. People say that my mushrooms are a little bit more expensive than what's out there. But hey, I do the entire process here. I harvest the mushrooms at the prime, and I deliver these mushrooms to the chefs who appreciate the values behind what I do as a company. But the reality is maybe 70% of the restaurants would still go for price point. They would still go for the cheaper produce that are not necessarily as good.
Sure.
Yeah. So lion's mane is it's a good example because they are one of our most popular mushrooms. But still, I'm actually competitive with people who are importing the bags and they're fruiting the mushrooms here, but just labeling them as grown in Singapore.
Yeah.
It's not really grown in Singapore, right? You don't really know where your substrate is from, number one. So we try to grow the best gourmet mushrooms,
Yes.
harvested at prime, dense, meaty oysters, even just the plain oyster mushrooms, but it could be still a beautiful gourmet mushroom that chefs would like to work with.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
that's what we aim for as a small-scale mushroom farm. We use millet, also use oats, it depends on what's available.
Sure.
So I got a couple of suppliers, because sometimes we import in most of the stuff, we don't grow grains here.
Yeah.
So if the millet dries up, I need to have a plan B.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
and if we don't have oats, then I'm in trouble. So we don't use rice because rice is just difficult to work with. So that's actually two blocks grown into each other.
Oh wow, they fuse together.
Yeah.
And what species is this?
This is Ganoderma multipilium. So we're trying to have an exhibition, a mushroom exhibition here out in the front, maybe by June-ish, if I have enough time to create more stuff.
I love it how they join together. That's wild.
Yeah, as they're growing, then we just kind of fuse the fruit bodies together.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And how long does it take to grow something like this when you first inoculate it to get it to?
This took a long time. This took maybe about seven months.
Okay.
7 to 8 months.
Sure. As a rough process of growing, inoculate it, and then do you let it grow in the bag, similar to the one on this table here? It's got like its antler inside the bag, and do you wait till it gets too large and then take the bag off?
No, I actually let it pin in the bag in
Okay.
vitro, and then once it gets to about 1 inch, 2 inches long, I cut the bag open, the top off, so that it has space to grow out. Then we
Sure.
use light to control the direction of its growth.
And you grow them, and these are grown in the grow room?
No, they are grown in a separate grow room,
Okay.
which I don't have now. That's
No,
why I don't
sure.
actually grow them now. But where we bring they don't actually get a lot of air exchange. There's air movement going on, but not much air exchange. So high carbon dioxide levels, so they are constantly stretching.
Yes. And do you have high humidity?
Yes, but lesser than the oyster mushrooms. So
Okay.
I think around 85% is
Sure.
good for the Ganoderma.
Sure.
Yeah, then when we want them to conk out, that's when I put it into the other grow room for them
Yeah,
to
and then the
to
conchs
fan out.
form on the top.
Yeah, I tried to fuse the fruit bodies
That's
using
wild.
the fruit
Take
bodies
it, yeah.
to kind of spot weld pieces together.
You're welding Ganoderma together.
Yeah. So I got excited over that. Then
They're like little spaceships.
yeah. So I'm planning for a larger one, and these are supposed to go up to.
Yeah, it's a light fixture.
Supposed to be an installation in this main space.
Yeah, right.
This is really fluffy. So if you feel that.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's like cotton wool.
Yeah. So this is an overgrowth, but it has a really interesting texture. And most people, when they feel it, they're like, "Whoa, I wasn't expecting that."
No.
Yeah, so I want to make a chair on that.
That's cool.
Yeah, sit on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We try to come up with products like table lamps, rechargeable LED table lamps,
Nice, yeah.
some with interchangeable caps.
No, yeah.
Yeah, so this is not dyed.
It's not dyed.
No, it's this is from I think it's been moved back to Trematis or Pycnoporus sanguineus. So it's a common mushroom in Singapore. We get that everywhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the mycelium is this red color.
It starts off white, but
Okay.
as it reacts to once you expose it to air, it becomes orange.
That's super cool.
So we can
Never seen that before.
Yeah, so it's cool when you can start to maybe direct certain. You can make patterns out of it. Certain targeted areas become reddish orange,
Sure.
or you can even do it like that one. It's kind of like a marble effect.
This black, is it like a black Ganoderma?
Yes, this is a Neo-Japonicum,
Okay.
Ganoderma Neo-Jap, and this is interesting because the mycelium here, can't really tell, but it's glossy.
Yeah.
And that's
It looks like a lacquer.
Yeah, but it's not lacquered. By now I know, the mycelium actually can produce this effect, and it's amazing. So from a design perspective, it's just exciting, right? There's just so much to learn. This was the first one, and then we started making more. Then this is the latest one. I think this looks the most realistic. So one of the things that I can't do is I cannot sell medicinal mushrooms.
Sure.
But I can sell grow kits. So
Yes.
even if they're medicinal, I can sell grow kits. So we're trying to make grow kits look good.
Yeah.
And so we come up with this is all work in progress. We still are currently working with a ceramic artist, Tricia, from Pinch Ceramics. So she's making vessels for us.
Sure.
It's a collaboration. So we can only grow like certain mushrooms in these fungariums. So Ganoderma, certain strains of Ganoderma do well like this because there's literally no maintenance at all, no misting. They just continue growing and it looks cool. You can grow them easily at home. Yeah, and it's nice for people to experience the process of growing Ganoderma because they are so alien-like.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just fascinating to know that they are so medicinal. And you can grow them so easily, and
You can just mist it in there, pop that on because the carbon dioxide level doesn't matter for the Ganoderma.
yeah, I don't even miss this, guys. This is just the condensation
Sure. Okay.
from the growth, so it's
really,
can't get any easier.
really easy.
It can't get any easier. Yeah, so we make earrings as well. So yeah, it's quite difficult to grow small mushrooms.
Yeah.
So we have limited numbers. This is a native Ganoderma. I still haven't found out what this is yet, but it's a crazy mushroom. It takes on many different forms. I use PP5 petri dishes. They're just disposable food containers, but we reuse them, we re-sterilize them.
Sure.
So if there's any contamination, I would re-sterilize and get rid of the stuff before I reuse the dishes. Yeah. So now we're moving them to master slants. It's necessary to have a system.
Yeah, for sure.
So especially when it comes to farming, everything needs to be traceable so that if it happens that the lion's mane turn out to be bitter, for example, right, then I can always find out what's going on. Usually it's the substrate. So at least down there it's quite easy to fix. But for contaminations, right, for a farm, if you don't have a system, then further down the line, it's a huge waste of time and huge waste of money. Do some fun stuff on the side. This is an old example. Now I have to seal it because I don't want any mites to get in here.
Yeah.
But I found this. It's called a handsome fungus beetle. This was like last year. I found it in the forest, and then it was eye level, which was strange because these beetles normally hang on the underside of Ganoderma applanatum. So I flipped it over and then I realized it was covered with mycelium. Then I'm like, oh yeah, this is exciting, man.
Yeah.
Then I brought it back to the old lab and then we managed to isolate the mycelium.
Yes.
And then I grew it out and then it started sporulating in the dish. Then I realized, oh, this could be something that I'm kind of was looking for. So then I scoped it using a microscope. Then I found out that it was a metarhizium. So I collected the spores, put it in water and started spraying insects. And this is a Javan grasshopper. These guys are tough.
Sure.
They can live without food in a jar for like a month. And this died in 4 days.
Wow.
So after, but I used the spores fresh.
Yes.
And after, on the 5th day, you start to see the mycelium kind of like growing out through the joints.
Sure.
And then sporulating. That's when it looks freaky because all the
This
green
is like The
spores.
Last of Us in here.
Yeah, it's nuts. So then I'm terrified of roaches. I hate, okay, not hate is a strong term, but I'm terrified of roaches. So I've also tried on little baby roaches.
Yeah.
So I felt quite bad doing that because I'm terrified of the adult ones. So I can only try a tiny one and same thing, 4 days they die.
Wow.
And
You've
of course,
you've made your own pesticide.
but these things are everywhere, you know. So
Yeah.
mycorrhizum is a good plant growth promoter,
Sure.
and it's actually common in Singapore. And I'm just surprised that actually no one even wants to explore this amazing organism. It's like just to find out about what we have here.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, you know. And you know, can this actually replace chemical pesticides using a native strain of metarhizium? And we can. And when I posted this on Facebook, I got a lot of backlash. They were like, no, man, what are you doing? This is crazy. It's dangerous. How can this be more dangerous than chemical pesticides
Sure.
that people are currently spraying, that's leaching into our soils, that is going to our food that we eat?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Small space, but in Singapore, so the entire facilities that we have here, which includes everything, yeah. So the lab, the fructification of mushrooms, the incubation, the design, the mold making, the R&D, all this thing happens in 3,500 square feet.
Wow.
So it sounds very, very small, but in Singapore standard, it's quite large.
Yeah.
So for like a small company like us, it's tough to navigate just the rental and the utilities because air conditioning, man, it's, you know, as much as possible, I don't want to have any air conditioning. I want to work, you know, actually I want to farm mushrooms outdoors, but it's so difficult. Like COVID was actually very good. I met really interesting people who said like, you know, like it's a good time to actually take a step back from the hustle and bustle of everyday life, which is actually very abnormal. And to think about the more important things like spending time with family, where does my food come from?
Yeah.
The water security, you know, biosecurity within the region, you know, like, hey man, like these lines are all drawn up by men. Actually, it doesn't freaking matter. We are actually a global species, right? Yeah, but that said, yeah, there's some positivity because I'm really meeting, especially this year, I'm meeting more and more interesting younger folks who are really trying to make this change happen. And some of these folks are working for the government.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think they're doing good stuff. Yeah, it's not all bad. I think that was in the past. So we're going through this transition period because we know what we want. Of course, the approach is not exactly what we want, how things to be done, but it is a stepping stone. I think we have to start somewhere, and this is it. And then when we can start to, when the local community start to, from a grassroots level, start to identify the problems, then we can try to solve it. And this takes time. Yeah. So it's all good, mate.
Yeah, mate. All right.
Join us next time for our first stop in Japan, where we visit one of the country's most respected spawn and research companies, try our hand at traditional log cultivation, and discover the most incredible shiitake mushrooms we've ever seen.
In Singapore at the moment, check out this air conditioning system over here. The humidity here is crazy, and it's like they're running a mushroom farm over here. The amount of air conditioning stuck to the side of these buildings is next level. I've never seen this before. Look how many there are. That's crazy.